Hey, what is up, lovelies? It is Lynn the Gacha Goblin, and I have to apologize for something, alright? Yesterday, I had made a video in regards to the apology letter that was given to the Infinity Nikki players, unknowingly not realizing just how bad the situation actually is for that player base. Guys, I am shocked at how INFOLD truly and royally messed this up. I mean, come on, imagine playing Infinity Nikki, seeing all of those cutscenes, and then now after an update, everything is gone. Everything is scrapped. Like, what happened? Not only that, but there were major changes to the pity system that completely changes everything. This is truly shocking, and I am so ashamed that INFOLD is the company behind Love and Deep Space, because they are really showing their true colors right now and painting themselves in the worst possible light as being one of the most greedy companies out there. My god. Okay, so let's start. I did some research and I found this post on r/gacha gaming on Reddit, and I mean, you know, I've talked about this Reddit before. They're not exactly the best place to be. I mean, it's very hit or miss, but because, you know, we all know from playing Love and Deep Space and being online that the Love and Deep Space Reddit thread is highly monitored, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Infinity Nikki one is also highly monitored, so anything negatively reflecting the company would be immediately deleted. So if you want to find real information about, you know, how crappy the players are being treated, you have to look elsewhere. So let's look at this this post here. Infinity Nikki, an absolute torrential meltdown due to INFOLD's abhorrent anti-consumer practices. This is wild. As a day one Infinity Nikki player, I wanted to give a bit more context to the previous post regarding the apology, because things are much worse than they appear. And I did not realize this when I made my video yesterday. I truly just read the apology and I wanted to see what they were saying. I wanted to, you know, I briefly skimmed through some of the examples and whatnot of what happened with Infinity Nikki, but I didn't understand everything. And this is actually crazy. So number one, it all started arguably with the stream wishlist rewards. They initially promised 10 pulls for hitting 100,000 wish lists, with a follow-up surprise reward for hitting 200,000. So, I mean, initially that seems fine. The number might be a little bit high, but considering the amount of people who actually play Infinity Nikki, I could see that that is a number that is, you know, possible. Okay, it is possible. And, you know, 10 pulls, pretty good, but considering that you have already a base pity of like 200, 10 pulls is truly nothing. It doesn't really help much in the long run. So interesting. Instead, they retroactively changed the 100,000 reward to 2 pulls and made 200,000 wish lists 10 pulls, completely removing the original surprise reward. Now, this is the picture of the before and after. This is actually quite insane that they changed this. Like, how could they change this? You know, how could they release it and then change their minds and then re-release it? They should have, if they wanted to do this, they should have done this. If they had already released this, they should have kept it the same, because that would just anger players. Can you imagine being told, hey guys, let's hit this, and you get 2 pulls. You get 2 measly pulls. Oh my god. So I get that. You have all the right to be upset. Now, number 2, the community naturally lost their effing minds, and after a day of rioting, INFOLD backed off and gave the 10 pulls plus 10 additional pulls as a reward for hitting 200,000. Oh my god. Oh my god. Seriously, I feel like, you know what, it's such a good thing that they rioted after, because it tells the company, no, we're not going to stand for this, you know. At least there was some sort of putting their foot down in this regard. Okay, so number 3, people were already very unhappy with the longest patch so far, 1.4 being the patch with the least amount of content. So this did little to appease the community. People are still smoldering. Now, INFOLD is notorious, okay? They do this with Love in Deep Space for not bringing out enough content and keeping players entertained. Besides doing the, the dailies and whatever, it becomes a very boring patch. And actually, that's what I've been seeing in the community, that people were complaining that there was nothing to do during the patch. So this doesn't surprise me. Then, number 4, version 1.5 is teased, and along with it, the Sea of Stars, which is a core aspect of Nikki games. People are super excited. The art looks amazing. They're going to allow people customization via dyeing that lets you change colors of all your clothing. This is actually very amazing, honestly. Sentiment is an all-time high after the developer livestream, and people are hyped as hell for 1.5. This is horrible, because of course you're setting the standard very high, and then when you disappoint everybody, it's going to bite you in the ass. I kind of want to quickly jump back to point number 3 here, because during Love in Deep Space there was definitely a long wait period, of course, from the initial release of the game in January of 2024, and then we only got a main story update, okay, in July. That is what, 7 months? 7 months of waiting and not getting any like content, like real content to actually do in the game. So that is interesting that they're also doing this Infinity Nikki, which is very actually disappointing. Okay, number 5. Unfortunately, as the data miners get to work, some very concerning things are coming to light, namely that the 2 new 5-star banners will be 11 pieces each. Previously, most 5-star outfits have been 8 to 10 stars, with one 11-star outfit in the very first banner. It takes 20 pulls to get one 5-star piece, so bumping the outfit count from 9 to 10 to 11 is each a 20 pull increase to max pity. This is insane that they increased the max pity for this game. First and foremost, let's actually talk about the data miners. So data miners are going to be in every game, alright? This is going to lead to quote-unquote leaks being released and all those things and whatnot. And it is important to say that this is something that INFOLD is going to combat in all of their games. It's not just Love in Deep Space. So I kind of want to point that out right here. And it's actually interesting to see that because I played the game Infinity Nikki kind of late. I don't know if I missed the first banner, but they're saying here that with one 11-star outfit in the very first banner. Now this just tells me right here that it's crazy that they released another 11-piece outfit, even though this is not a major update. Like, this is not 2.0, okay? This is 1.5. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not an anniversary patch. This isn't like another main big patch in the game. This is just 1.5. It's not 2.0, it's not the anniversary, and they're pulling this kind of crap on everybody. Can you imagine if this kind of stuff doesn't get like ironed out and fixed before the anniversary? Infinity Nikki could potentially have the worst anniversary in the history of gacha games, even worse than 3 pulls in 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be insane if they did that. Can you imagine if they increased the pity again during the anniversary? Whoa. Wow, congratulations guys, you're playing an amazing game with an amazing company behind them. Man, seriously, this is blowing my mind. Okay, number 6, people cope. Some saying that just data mines, it won't be like that, surely they wouldn't, etc, etc. Sentiment is still high, people are still excited. Okay, so nobody listened to the leaks, which understandable. Leaks are leaks. They come and go with like a huge grain of salt, whatever. Launch day comes. Number 7. Absolute effing mayhem. The entire launch is an absolute disaster from every angle, whether it's monetization, design, stability, you name it. Oh my god. Okay, so honestly, I just find this incredibly entertaining. I'm so sorry for all of the Infinity Nikki players out there. I didn't continue playing the game, so I am an outside observer. Just knowing how bad INFOLD is with Love and Deep Space, I never realized just how bad they are, and this is really painting a different picture for me, and I am concerned. I am concerned. Okay, so number 8, PS5 players are locked out completely. Most mobile players are as well. Those that can get in the game are faced with a blank screen or a crash, and you can't actually make any progress. PC players are able to get in and play, but everything is an absolute mess. You're dumped immediately into an unskippable tutorial sequence. Everything is a glitchy, laggy mess. Eventually, you get dropped into the fabled Sea of Stars, except there's zero content, and the very small tasks that do work are also a glitchy mess. Oh, did I mention that there was a huge co-op update? You're supposed to be able to optionally interact with other players in the Sea of Stars, except that it too is a buggy disaster that doesn't work. So everything basically that they had promised in the live stream did not fulfill. They didn't fulfill anything. Wow. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. That is absolutely wild. How can you have a live stream? Seriously, how can you have a live stream, hype up the entire player base, say that you're going to give co-op, that you're going to give Sea of Stars and all of this and whatever, and then completely just mess everything up? Number 9. On the lore front, the entire story of the game was retconned, whereas before you were isekai'd into this fantasy world thanks to your mother's old dress as well as a mysterious connection to a woman named Enna. You are now in a multiversal slope fest. All of the previous intro story that has been removed for new players, and everyone is now part of this multiversal Nikkiverse that is trying to prevent the end of the universe. No context, no elaboration, no explanation. You're just dumped into this retcon as soon as you open the game. Apparently, you have already destroyed the world and are now going back in time to save it or something. Why would they change the story? Like, why would they change the story? The story's already there. Can you imagine playing Genshin Impact or something and they change the entire story? The entire like foundation of that, it shocks me. It shocks me, and it also doesn't shock me. Like, I don't know what to say. Number 10. On the monetization front, oh god, here we go. Indeed, both banners are 11 pieces, meaning max pity of 220 pulls. And that's only for the base outfit and one recolor. To get the final evolution, you need to pull the entire outfit again, so it's 200, oh my god, it's 440 pulls, sorry. But it doesn't stop there. They added more paid items that are just decorations, meaning they can't be equipped to Nikki as outfit pieces. They added a bathtub. They marked up to $70. They gave you a bathtub for $70? What? And then slap a minus 79% tag on it to pretend they're selling you a deal at $10. Mind you, there's no housing system yet, so players are furious. They keep trying to sell these decoration cosmetics. They have barely any usage. At this point, the game feels like a generic Chinese gacha clone. You know, the ones with minus 90... God. Tags slapped on everything. Oh, this package was originally 900. Okay. Oh my god. Oh my god. Guys, I really thought that it was bad. in Love and Deep Space, but I think this is arguably worse. And you know what? This is my thinking, okay? I haven't read anything else, but this is just my thinking. The Gacha revenue report was released yesterday, and you can see that Infinity Nikki is pretty low on that list, and yet Love and Deep Space is thriving on the top, being one of the most predatory Gacha games out there. While Infinity Nikki was one of those like happy, fun things that you could do and just like, you know, play to relax and de-stress and enjoy the pretty outfits and the magic and blah 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 in Mirrorland. But I feel like INFOLD is trying to make this one of the most predatory games so that way they can double up on the revenue and basically, you know, use Infinity Nikki and Love and Deep Space as their cash cows. This is absolutely crazy. But you know what? I am so happy that the players of this game are truly taking a stand against INFOLD, which is fantastic. Somebody needs to, because my god, that company is insane. And you know what? It's not even like the developers who do this kind of crap. It's the executive team who's running everything in INFOLD. It's Young Rung Hao who doesn't want to say anything, and we know this from Love and Deep Space. He doesn't want to take sides, he doesn't want to say anything, but the executive team that wants to milk the players dry are the ones that truly are messing up everything, and they're trying to make all of these games, these cash cow games, that basically brainwash their players into spending money. Maybe they're trying to be like Hoyoverse, who knows, I don't know, but this is absolutely nuts. Okay, number 11, the hyped dyeing system has 90% of the palette colors locked behind a new curve. Oh my god, really? They couldn't just give you that for free? The only source for this currency is from the monthly shop, which is super limited. You wouldn't be able to unlock every palette for one 5-star outfit, even if you save this monthly currency for a year. Oh my god, the dyeing palettes must be locked for each piece at a time. There are 10 to 11 pieces now, and guys, I'm losing my mind. Instead of the whole outfit, and the most desirable colors, pink and black, are locked to 5-star outfits only. They knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing. The palettes for 4-star and 3-star outfits are far more restrictive, but they also require premium currency to unlock. Of course, the only other way to get the palette currency is money. Of course. Of course they're not gonna make it any better for you guys. I thought that the grinding system was gonna be like pretty decent since it's an open world gacha game, but they're really trying to find ways of just making and forcing people to spend money. Number 12, the end game contest originally was promised to run every 14 days. This is the biggest source of income for free to play. This is giving me Abyssal Chaos flashbacks. They have been steadily creeping up the length of time each contest runs, directly reducing some income for all players. 1.5 was going to have the biggest length of time for each stage until they slightly backtracked with their apology below. Oh my god. Wow. Okay. The apology, 13. They gave a half-baked non-apology, saying the 11 pieces were necessary to expand the design of the dresses, but they promised they won't go to 12 or more unless they do, wink wink, but we promise to tell you first if we want to screw the fans over again. Oh man. I wouldn't be surprised if they do, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if they do. They've screwed over the Love and Deep Space players so much, and yet nobody does crap in that community. Okay. Well, nobody fulfills, like follows through in that community. There are a lot of plans, a lot of talk, but when the pin drops, people run away and people back out, and it's really bad, guys. Really bad. Their explanation makes no sense, as both of the 5-star banners are long dresses that completely cover Nikki's legs, meaning the socks were totally not necessary. And only there to bump the pity count up to 220. For proof, users that were able to log in immediately after maintenance found that even in the intro screen and cutscenes, Nikki is not wearing socks, then wearing the new 5-star outfit. What? You're kidding me. She's not even wearing the socks, and yet you still have to pull for them. Guys, oh my god. It really is bad. It really is bad. So at this point, it's obviously bumped the outfits to 11 pieces, slap some socks on it, and hope players would just roll over. What's even funnier is that before fixing any of the bugs, they pushed a 30 MB hotfix to put socks on Nikki in the cutscene, but the players were too fast and caught them anyways. INFOLD, INFOLD, INFOLD! You are so bad! Oh my god. For the endgame contest cycle, their apology says they'll make a bi-monthly every 16 days, which is still worse than the originally promised 14-day cycle. Anything to F the players, even in an apology. I am telling you, they are like this with endgame. The Abyssal Chaos doesn't give us crap, okay? You have to play that thing for 6 months to get 10 pulls. And I've been saying this, I calculated it out. That is the deduction point rewards that are locked every 2 freaking weeks at 20,000 deduction points. How does nobody, when that came out, I wanted people to get upset. Okay, I wanted people to get upset, but nobody said anything, and it's too late to change it now, and everybody is just relying on the Abyssal Chaos to give them freaking pulls. You cannot be sustained by the Abyssal Chaos alone, okay? And the Deep Space Trials are so hard to get through if you don't pull on the banners. Do you guys realize how greedy INFOLD is? How they're making us pay for this game, for all of their games now? This is crazy. I thought it was bad in Love and Deep Space, but apparently, INFOLD thought that they can really F players over in Infinity Nikki. Number 15. Both the CN and global community are in absolute meltdown mode. Boycotts, riots, you name it. I'm sure I've missed a bunch of stuff, but at this point the game and the community is just an absolute shambles. Every other post on the IN subreddit is outrage. Oh my goodness. I wonder how the mods are coping up. But you know what? This is fantastic. It's fantastic for this game in particular. I'm actually very, very happy that the community is really taking a stand against INFOLD in terms of, Infinity Nikki, because when you have the backing of the mass and the majority of the CN players, then INFOLD is probably going to listen to all of the complaints, because they could truly give a rat's ass about the global players, and I hate to say that, but it's freaking true. So that is insane. But let's take a look. I found this post, and this is I don't know if you're ready for this, but this is a comparison between the old Infinity Nikki intro and the new Infinity Nikki intro. So this was posted on the Infinity Nikki, the biggest unofficial and fan-run subreddit for Infinity Nikki. Okay, so this is by Shira Sakirin. Okay, it seems that everything happened in the old tutorial actually happened in the past of the new tutorial. Anna mentioned that she bestowed the heart of Infinity Nikki upon Nikki at the dawn of all things, and Momo wakes up in the sea of stars with a pair pal and camera already in his bag. Nikki also said maybe she joined the guild the last time she was there. If this theory is true, then INFOLD is really Why did you have to alter the timeline? Didn't they plan the plot first before actually writing the story? The game is not even out for half a year yet, and they're already making changes on the timeline. Yeah, this is actually the most confusing part about everything. Like, I understand the greedy monetization acts that they've already changed in the game, but when it comes to changing the story of the game, that is where I'm confused. Like, why did they do that? Did they realize that the story was going to progress a lot faster than they had planned? That they want to keep this game running for as long as possible in order to milk the players out of their money? Like, did they realize that? I don't know. It's very, very weird. And the dialogues between the seer and Nikki is slightly different depending on whether you're an old player or a new player. So they changed the dialogue depending on when you opened your account. So for us old players, the wish field we played in just destroyed like that. I did not include the dialogues comparison pictures because I did not record the walkthrough of Intro to Sea of Stars for old players. Going through the old tutorials again really makes me sad. It's a shame they removed so many wonderful things from the tutorial. Okay, yeah. So, this is how Infinity Nikki used to look like. The old started off in the attic of Nikki's own world, and then there's Nikki's mommy lore removed. Oh my god, they removed this? This was so cute though. New started off in somewhere unknown and proceeded with the Sea of Stars intro. Okay. And then you have old Enna's first appearance in Chains, new her first appearance. But why did they change how she looked? She looked so good here. Why did they change how she looked? Nikki hears Enna calling before seeing her, asking her to go to the chamber. New Enna asks Nikki to go to the edge of the border before walking away. Nikki and Momo no longer in red miracle outfit. Okay. Old Enna in the temple. Enna stands outside the temple. So they really changed it. They changed it. They took out all of the cutscenes that were so amazing. This is the first experience of players. Why would you take out the most exciting piece in like all of the trailers and whatever? Like, this is the comparison here is not as impactful. This is where she's being imprisoned, and then this is where she talks about being imprisoned. It's so bland. It's so vanilla. Cutscene of Enna giving the heart of Infinity to Nikki, and then Enna just briefly mentioned she gave the heart to her. Oh, I gave the heart to you guys. Can you imagine? That is a big change. Enna tells Nikki that she's going to Mirrorland while S-Lings swarm around her. Enna just casually tells Nikki to go to Wishfield in Mirrorland. Wow. Old, new. This was such a cute cutscene. And then you immediately go to the front of the Stylist's Guild. You don't do the whole walkthrough. Meets Dada in Old Guild Memorial. Dada introduces Pear Pal and gives it to Nikki in the Flora Wish Guild. Okay, but what's the new one? New, Pear Pal and Cameron Momo's back, and Nikki got another one from Dada at the guild. But why? There are so many things here that make no sense. Flora Wish. New, Nikki doesn't see any Feywish sprites. Dada says Momo's cute like a Feywish sprite and introduces it to Nikki. Nikki got teleported straight to the guild. She doesn't see anything. Oh man. Dues of Inspiration is also not introduced in the new tutorial. This one from old tutorial. And then here, RIP cutscene of introduction to Flora Wish, you'll be missed. Yeah, this was a really cool cutscene. Man. RIP threads of reunion. I really hope we reunite in the future. We have already seen them. Yeah, Momo was really cute. Oh my god. She's T-posing, guys. Okay. Well, I don't know how INFOLD expects people to continue playing this game, because clearly the opinion about Infinity Nikki has dropped immensely over the past 3 days, and that is only 3 days. This is absolutely crazy. Infinity Nikki's subreddit right now. Look what I did with the die. Future 5 stars will not exceed 11 parts, and then there's a whole mob of people. That is, I mean, I get it. I would be mobbing too. Infinity Nikki's stream launch has been branded with mixed reviews after players are struggling to even launch the game. I think it's way worse than just mixed reviews, broski. Anyway, that is pretty much Infinity Nikki. I do not expect INFOLD to really fix anything. I really don't think that they're going to go back on all of the changes that they've made. Is a boycott going to help? Maybe, maybe not. INFOLD is so mean. They're very predatory. I feel there has to be some sort of competition in the space that can rival INFOLD. Like, I'm talking about INFOLD as a company, because INFOLD as a company is a company that has a male CEO that thought that he could make money off of women, the women player base. He saw a gap in the market and he went for it. And now we have games that are incredibly predatory, geared towards women, and you can see that it is technically working in the gacha revenue. Does that mean it's a good thing? No, not really. But does it mean that maybe another company out there could be formed and you know, they make a game that is like Love and Deep Space, like Infinity Nikki, and hopefully much more successful and kind and understanding, an equivalent of Kuro Games, shall we say. That would be very nice. That would be very nice, and I hope that that's going to happen in the future. It is going to be a long time before we see that, and that is very, very unfortunate. But yeah, I cannot believe that INFOLD backtracked that much, changed so much, increased the pity, and gave a half-assed apology. I thought that the apology yesterday was really good, but apparently not. Apparently their form of communication is not real communication. It's not down to earth. It's not, you know, heart to heart. It's not anything like that. They frame it up to be like that, but then they don't follow through on anything that they've promised. And yeah, it's just empty words, an empty apology. And man, oh man, that is so bad. Oh nuts. Anyway, that is pretty much it. Leave your comments down below whether you play Infinity Nikki or not. This is the company that has backed Love and Deep Space and Infinity Nikki. How are you feeling right now? Do you even care that this is happening? Do you care that INFOLD is this bad? My goodness. You know what? This is why I am going to continue to play Love and Deep Space, spend as minimal money as I can, meaning pulling on the last days of the banner. Yeah, that is crazy. Oh my god. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I am Lynn the Gacha Goblin, and I will see you lovelies in the next video. Bye bye now.